Okay, let's just jump right in. What if I told you truth isn't something you find, but something you feel? Seriously. Today, we're going to dig into this really radical philosophy that completely redefines truth itself. And what's wild is how it connects everything. I mean, everything, from the basic laws of physics all the way to the poetry you love. So, yeah, get ready for this one. All right, let's start with this classic riddle. You've definitely heard it before, right? But here's the thing. This isn't just some clever little brain teaser. It's actually a trap. And it's a trap that's built on a totally flawed idea of what truth even is. But stick with me here, because by the end of this, I promise you're going to have the exact tools you need to just completely dismantle this whole question. So here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with truth as a perfect fit. Then we'll talk about how truth is a verb, not a noun, which is a huge shift. After that, we dive into the physics of knowing, go beyond true or false, and wrap it all up with the poetry of reality. It's going to be a fun ride. Let's do it. All right, Section 1, Truth as Perfect Fit. The subtitle here says it all, a concept that clicks into place with reality. I think we've all felt that. That's really the core idea here, that intuitive feeling when something just makes perfect sense. So what exactly is proof by resonance? Well, think about how science usually works. A lot of the time, we're trying to break an idea, right? We're actively looking for that one single flaw that can bring the whole theory crashing down. Proof by resonance, or PBR, is different. It's about confirmation. It's not enough for an idea to just survive a bunch of attacks. It's about that idea fitting so perfectly, so seamlessly with reality that there's just no room for doubt. Yeah, this is the perfect way to picture it. It's like having a really complex, intricate shape in the exact hole it was made for. When you slide it in, it doesn't just kind of fit. It aligns on every single surface, every curve, every edge. There are zero gaps, no friction, no contradictions whatsoever. That feeling of a perfect, effortless fit, that's resonance. You know, we actually have a really simple version of this that we use all the time, the duck test. It's a bit of a cliche, but it totally captures the spirit of this philosophy. All proof by resonance is doing is taking that basic intuitive idea and giving it a formal, rigorous structure that we can apply to, well, anything. Okay, moving on to Section 2, a verb, not a noun, and the subtitle is key here, rethinking what truth fundamentally is. So we have this idea of a perfect fit, right? But this next part, this is where things get really wild. Because we're not just talking about a new method for testing truth anymore. We're talking about changing the definition of truth itself. So for like centuries, philosophy has basically treated truth as a thing, like a shiny rock or a buried treasure that you have to go out and find. This philosophy argues that this whole approach was a massive category error, a fundamental mistake. We haven't just been wrong about what's true, we've been looking for the wrong kind of thing entirely. And this is the absolute core of it all. Truth is not a noun. It's a verb. It's an action, a process. It's the continuous act of aligning our models of the world with the world itself. So you don't find truth, you do truth. It's the act of truing, like how a wheel is trued to be perfectly round. And what's so cool is that once you start thinking this way, you see this pattern everywhere. Seriously, look at this table. In physics, this state of perfect alignment is called coherence or negentropy. In biology, it's survival. I mean, what is survival if not the ultimate resonance with your environment? And in psychology, we all know this one, it's the flow state, that feeling when you're just completely in the zone. It's all the same fundamental principle, just with different names. All right, Section 3, the physics of knowing, subtitle, How Thermodynamics Defines Reality. Okay, so if truth is a physical process, a state of alignment, can we measure it? This is where it gets really, really cool, because we're about to leave pure philosophy behind and jump straight into hard science. We're talking thermodynamics. This is where truth gets physical. Let's talk about equilibrium. In physics, this is basically the ultimate state of stability. It's when a system has totally settled down, there's no more internal conflict, no more change. Just think about a cup of hot coffee you leave on the counter. Eventually, it cools down to room temperature, right? It's reached equilibrium. It's in a state of perfect, low-energy alignment with its surroundings. It has, for all intents and purposes, figured itself out. Okay, so the universe has this one big rule. Everything falls apart. It's called entropy. It's a constant, relentless push towards chaos and disorder. So in a universe that's always trying to erase everything, what is truth? Well, it's the opposite. It's negentropy. It's the stuff that doesn't fall apart. It's the information, the structure, the order that somehow manages to persist against that huge tide of chaos. Simply put, truth is what lasts. So what does this mean for our ideas? Think about it. A true model, an idea that really works, it preserves information, it creates order, it aligns with reality, and it's easy. It doesn't take a lot of energy to maintain. But a false model? Oh, that's a different story. It's constantly clashing with reality. You're always having to patch it up, make excuses for it, defend it. It's like a little heat engine of confusion, constantly pumping out chaos and disorder into the world. Okay, on to section 4, beyond true or false, a new way to prove what's real. So we've got this wild idea that truth is a physical state of order. That's cool and all, but so what? What does that actually mean for us, day to day? How does this change how we prove something is real? Well, here's the big shift. The standard scientific method, falsification, is all about trying to break things. You're basically a professional skeptic hunting for that one tiny piece of evidence that can prove a whole hypothesis wrong. But proof by resonance is a different game. It's not about surviving attacks. It's about demonstrating total coherence. It's a shift from, well, you haven't proven me wrong yet, to let me show you how I am completely, perfectly, and coherently right. Okay, remember that tree in the forest riddle? Let's go back to it, because now we have the tools to solve it for good. See, the whole riddle is a trick. It only works because the word sound is ambiguous. Does it mean the physical vibration, or does it mean the experience of hearing? Proof by resonance hates ambiguity. It forces you to be precise. You have to pick one definition and stick to it. And here's how you'd write that down formally. Now, don't let the symbol scare you. It's actually super simple. All this is saying is that the system, which is S, in our case the tree falling, perfectly resonates with the definition, which is Q, our precise physical definition of sound. That's it. It's just a shorthand way of saying, hey, it's a perfect fit. So what's the final answer? Well, if we define sound by its physical properties, as vibrations moving through a medium, then the answer is a simple, clear 1. A perfect match. The event of the tree falling perfectly 100% resonates with the physical definition of sound. It doesn't matter if anyone is there to hear it. Riddle solved. Done. Okay, last section. Section 5, the poetry of reality. And this subtitle, How Art Reveals Hidden Truths. This is, for me, maybe the most mind-bending part of this whole philosophy. Because if you thought this was all just about physics and logic, think again. We're about to see how this idea of resonance blows the doors wide open on what art actually is. Check this out. The law of analogous resonance. This is a total game changer. It says that when a metaphor or an analogy really lands for you, you know that feeling when it just clicks and everything makes sense? That's not just a clever trick with words. No. It means you are actually detecting a real, shared pattern in reality. You're observing a hidden truth about the structure of the universe. Maybe one that science hasn't even gotten to yet. And that leads to this incredible idea. Poetry isn't about inventing pretty falsehoods. It's about unconcealing hidden truths. This means great poets aren't just storytellers, they're discoverers. They're like mathematicians of meaning, revealing the hidden geometry of reality and showing us how the same beautiful patterns echo across totally different parts of our world. And this is what the philosophy calls the profit function of art. Think about it. Because artists work by feeling for resonance, by using their intuition, they can often spot these deep structural patterns way, way before science can come along with all its data and prove they exist. They're like the advanced scouts of reality. I mean, think about all those dystopian novels that just felt a little too real. They resonated because the author was picking up on a real pattern in society that the spreadsheets hadn't caught yet. So that leaves us with this final, really powerful question. If art is a genuine window into the hidden structure of our world, what are our artists revealing to us right now? What truths are hiding in plain sight in the music we listen to, the movies we watch, the stories we tell? What deep patterns is our world trying to show us about itself if we just learned how to listen for the resonance?